They didn't test their first A-bomb until August 1949, 2 years later. So what I'm saying is this. 200 years ago, what was happening on this planet technologically? Basically nothing. 100 years ago, a little bit more. The last 60 years, wow. And so when I talk about technology and getting there, I worked on fusion propulsion systems in the early 60s. Now, I better educate the audience just a little bit. The most important source of energy in all our lives is nuclear fusion. That's what's going on in all the stars, including the sun. It's the fusion process that produces the energy. We didn't figure that out, theoretically even, until 1938. Now, it's been operating for 4.5 billion years before that. The fact that we didn't know about it doesn't mean it wasn't happening. Some people think if we don't know it, it can't be, Then, being typical Earthlings, we put that to use in 1952, late September, early or October, I forget which. We tested Mike, the first H-bomb. That's a fusion device. Now, what a lot of energy. It released the equivalent of exploding 10 million tons of TNT. Million tons. Now, a big bomb during World War II, ask your grandfather, was a 10-ton blockbuster. We're talking not 10, not 100, not 1,000, but 10 million tons. The fireball was 3 miles wide. Now, if you were an alien, would you say, oh, these are nice guys, they're playing games in the sandbox, look at that, H-bombs. We've tested a few hundred A-bombs, H-bombs. Incidentally, the Russians tested one that was 57 million tons of TNT energy release. So anybody who says, why now, I'd say because before now, meaning the last 100 years or so, there was no reason to worry about idiot Earthlings. They want to make a mess, fine, no problem. Now, it is a problem, because every advanced civilization will figure out how their star works. Some may use fusion to produce power, maybe to do other things, but certainly you can use it for propulsion. And you can kick particles out the back end of a rocket having 10 million times as much energy per particle as they can get in a dumb old chemical rocket. Now remember, the SETI guys assumed that ain't nobody going nowhere. No colonization, no migration. That's another silly assumption. Every advanced civilization will get to the point where they realize, hey, some terrible things could happen. An asteroid could blast our planet. A star could go supernova. There could be global warming. We could run out of resources, whatever. They've got to be on the lookout for some other place. Now, most of the people living in Halifax didn't have their ancestors 20 generations ago living in Halifax. They migrated. They colonized. They came here from someplace else. I mean, you go to Australia, and their ancestors were convicts. This was a penal colony. Maybe that's what we are. Maybe that's why we're so nasty to each other. So my point is, the SETI people totally ignore all the evidence about UFOs. They pay lip service. They'll say there is no evidence. And I just did a strong review of Paul Davies' new book, Eerie Silence. He's thinking there must not be too many people out there because we haven't heard anything yet.
Yeah, it's an interesting book that he's written, though, isn't it? He's part of the
Carl Sagan of our time. He's 12 years younger than Carl and I were, I guess, in Carl's case.
Right, but the premise is a post-contact task force kind of agenda, is it not?
Well, he's head of the SETI group that's supposed to decide, what do we do if we get a signal? Wow, how should we respond? As if that's going to affect any government in the world. I mean, these guys paint this as that would be man's greatest adventure. Dr. Jill Tarter, smart lady at Berkeley. There's probably a civilization within 1,000 light years, and when we make contact, it'll be the biggest event in man's history, and they'll help us solve our problems. That's mind-boggling. Hey, out there, we got a little difficulty here with how to get along with each other, with global this and that. Can you help us? 2,000 years later, 1,000 years for the signal to get out, another 1,000 years for the response to get out. Hey, hi guys, what can we do for you?
Yeah, exactly.
That's absurd. And, so I take a strong stand about this nonsense. They know nothing about propulsion. They know nothing about people. They know nothing also about what I call the cosmic Watergate, the cover-up. They can't see a national security aspect to this.
Wow. Mr. Stanton Friedman in the house here on the Unified Field. What do you guys think so far? This guy is a hero and ufological legend. Yeah, and he's saying some serious things here. And to me, in this day and age, it's blatantly obvious that something's been going on for eons and has been brought to the forefront of politics around 1947 and possibly sooner, according to some people. There's a presence of extraterrestrial intelligence visiting Earth. And there are a lot of different stories of where these beings come from, whether they're interdimensional or they're sharing planet Earth with us. We don't really know. What we do know is that big men like Mr. Stanton Friedman are out fighting the good fight, trying to dig up evidence, hard evidence in black and white print. He's a dying breed, and we need more people like Stanton Friedman. I hope you're enjoying the program. I'm having a great time. I had a great time talking to Stan in May of 2010, just over a month ago, and it was a blast. Actually, it was, how long ago was it? Let me see. Jeez, it was almost 2 months ago now. But it's perfect that we're airing it now because his book has just launched last week, if I'm correct. Anyway, I am your host, Mr. Justin Brown, and you're listening to a spectacular once-in-a-lifetime interview here on the Unified Field, Atlantic Canada's only paranormal radio broadcast, with the legend, Mr. Stanton Friedman. Stick around. There's a lot more to come your way.
Experience the Caribbean and India without the airfare. Rani's Curry and Roti Shop serves up authentic Caribbean and Indian food. Rani's has all your favorites. Curry chicken, beef, mutton, goat, buttered chicken, chickpea and potato are all available in a roti wrap. Rani's is the real deal. It's real with imported ingredients and a deal with $5 lunch specials and a 10% student discount. So come on down to Rani's at 5280 Green Street, just off Queen, and experience authentic curry and roti for yourself.
I'm David Suzuki. Poll after poll shows the environment and global warming are Canadians' #1 concern. Politicians need to know you want policies to protect nature forever.
Get involved. Make yourself heard. Find out how at davidsuzuki.org.
Tune into Radio in America every week to count down CKDU's Top 30. Radio in America airs Mondays from 1:30 to 3:30 p.m. on CKDU 88.1 FM or online at ckdu.ca.
Do you have a yard you would like to garden, but just don't have the time? Do you live in an apartment and would like to have land to grow your own vegetables? Halifax Landshare partners those who want to garden with those who have the land but can't maintain a garden on their own. Landshare is free and provides access to a map and a list of willing volunteers and locations. Visit www.halifaxlandshare.ca for more information and to register your property. This summer, make new friends and enjoy fresh organic vegetables right from your doorstep.
Hi, I'm from the YMCA and my name is Musab.
My name is Singh.
My name is Lucy.
My name is Masoud.
My name is Nelson.
My name is Hammam.
My name is Kelty.
My name is Hisham.
And my name is Kunjman.
And we're from the YMCA.
And we're from the YMCA.
And you are listening to CKDU 88.1 FM in Halifax.
Woo! Spaceships, aliens, Bigfoot, and more. You're listening to the Unified Field with my dad, Mr. Justin Brown.
You are now entering the Unified Field.
Welcome back to the Unified Field. You're listening to Atlantic Canada's only paranormal radio broadcast, right here broadcasting from beautiful and spectacular historical Dalhousie Campus University in beautiful coastal Nova Scotia, and a gorgeous day today, 26 degrees. I hope you all are enjoying the day and your summertime fling, and enjoying the show right here on CKDU 88.1. This is Mr. Justin Brown, and we are deeply involved in a Stanton Friedman interview, and I don't want to waste any more time, so let's just jump back into it, because this is the meat and potatoes of the show, and it is really fantastic. All right, on we go.
No, I want to get to this cosmic Watergate, but I want to make a quick mention here. I know you're an adamant believer that a small percentage of unidentified flying objects are extraterrestrial in origin. Now, I have to ask you, there are guys like Bob Lazar that have come about. I mean, he's got basically an untraceable background, so he's hard to kind of peg down, but he's got a fantastic story to tell. We got guys like, I think his name is Michael Schratt, an aerospace historian. I heard him on UFOnaut Radio with Jesse Randall before he switched to KPAM there just recently. I think the show was actually from earlier in the year, and he was talking about how there are black ops government projects going on where he has spoken to pilots of some of these craft who aren't really at liberty to release any of the photographs or talk about some of the things that they're working on. But he says there are devices, one in specific, I think that they attach to the B-2 bomber, that promotes 60% less drag, which means 60% less fuel consumption, which means 60% closer to a kind of anti-gravity sort of device. Do you not think that we may be at a point now, with all the technological advancements that we made, that we could duplicate something like this? Because there are unmanned craft now that fly around and attach themselves to power lines to recharge.
Well, look, I'd be the first one to say that, of course, there are black programs out there. I mentioned Stealth, $10 billion. In my book, Flying Saucers and Science, I have a whole chapter on the cosmic Watergate and give a number of examples of large-scale programs that make SETI look like a little game in the park.
That's right.
There's no question. The black people say, don't you think all this new technology came too fast, that it must be from aliens? I say, no, you're forgetting how much money was put into it.
Mm-hmm.
When you put thousands of engineers and scientists, not at universities, but in industry, working on advanced technology, you get some results. Look, the NRO, National Reconnaissance Office in the United States, they're in charge of the big spy satellites. Some of them, one satellite can run $500 million. That's a lot of dough for one device up there. I get a kick out of the Corona program because I drove Toyota Coronas for a number of years, and I like to smoke Corona cigars. And the Corona program was the first successful spy satellite that the United States launched. After 12 failures, in secret, mind you, just scientific satellites, I'm sorry it didn't work, number 13 worked. It got more data on Soviet military facilities, activities, than all the U-2 flights that had preceded it. This was in 1960. Did we make a big deal about that? We didn't say boo about Corona until 1995.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not saying that there aren't secret projects trying to emulate, be like what the aliens are flying around our place. I am saying you got to be real careful, though, with Bob Lazar. I talked to his high school. I talked to the colleges he supposedly attended. And he lied about his background. There's a piece on my website, StantonFriedman.com. Some of the research I did on Bob. He doesn't have a degree from anywhere. He didn't go to MIT or Caltech. He's not a physicist. He worked at Los Alamos, not for Los Alamos. Those are two different things. They got a lot of subcontractors. Very bright guy.
Yeah. I heard he's working on hydrogen fuel cell technology right now, which is kind of funny because you think he'd be doing something. You think he'd be more of a spokesman for, the idea of extraterrestrial visitation, and he could be one of these top-tier guys, nowhere near Stanton T. Friedman, but he could be up there making a case for the world.
He's got no degrees. He's got no background. He's a bright guy who also built a car powered by a jet engine, which is kind of neat.